will start the pray first for תיקוני הזוהר. ריבון העולמים ואדוני אדונים אב הרחמים והסליחות מיידים אנחנו לפניך אדוני אלוהינו ולאבותינו וקדושה ושתך תורתה אשתך אביה שקרבתנו לתורתך ולעבודות העבודות הקודש ונתת לנו חלק בסודות תורתך הקדושה מענו מחיינו מאשר עשית עמנו חסד גדול כזה על כן אנחנו מפלים תחתונים לפניך שתמחול ותסלח לכל חטאותינו ואבותינו ואל יהיו עוונותינו מבדילים בינינו לבניך כן יהי רצון לפניך אדוני אלוהינו ולאבותינו כונן את לבבינו לרתך ולאהבתך תקשיב אזנינו אוזניך לדברנו אלו ותפתח לנו לבבינו הערל בסודות תורתך ולא בודנו זה נחת רוח פלקת כיסא כבודיך כרך ניחוח תציל לנו אור מקור נשמתנו בכל בחילתנו של זאת ושיתנוצצו נצרות עבדיך הקדושים אשר לדע גילית דבריך אלה בעולם זכותם זכות אבותם זכות תורתם ותמותם וקדושתם מאוד לנו לבן כאשר דברים אלה וזכותם תאיר עינינו במה שאנו לומדים כמר נעים זמירות ישראל גן לעיניי והביט על נפלאות תורתך, כי אדון אדוני ייתן חוכמה בפיו ודעת ונעל יהי רצון ופי, ויגון לפניך אדוני צורך וגואלי. So now we're going to do just meditation. According to Rabbi Isaac Luria, it's important meditation. We're in Tikkun Revi'i, in the fourth Tikkun, in verse 3. תלת גבני עינה, אינון תלת הבען. Or maybe, you know what, changing my mind. I'm going to finish first the Matok Midvash and then I'm going to move into that. Last time, we covered the idea of Pitchuli Share Tzedek Avobam Odeya. Open me the gate of justice and I will walk into the gate of justice and praise Yah. Yah is Yud K. So, Bereshit, Lekman Doresh Unutrikan Rashi Bat. Every time we say the word Bereshit, Genesis, there is a meaning to it. And in this case, if you take the word Bereshit, break it down, it will be Rashi Bat. Rashi, meaning the heads, the leaders of Bat, of the daughter. Umagdim, Ktiv, Pitchuli Share Tzedek Avo Bamodeya. ומפרש דבריו, פיתחו לי, what does that mean, open me a gate of justice? מה שכתוב לשון רבים, פיתחו לי. Why we say פיתחו לי? Why you don't say it פתח לי? פתח לי in singular. Why you have to say it in plural that you say it to everybody? פיתחו לי. היינו דיינון טרין אפפה עינה. This is, we talking about the two, what do you say, lead on the eyes? Eyelid? Eyelids. The eyelids covering our eyes, it's called afapayim. So the pitchuli, open to be in plural, meaning two. What is the two? The two eyelids. It's what cover your eyes when you close them. And we also call them netzach ve'od, that we call them a gate of justice. דיינון פתחים וסגורים, הפותחים וסגורים את העיניים לעיר או למנוע הרעת העיניים. They are, the eyelid are basically close the eyes from receiving and giving. Is he writing? פותחים וסוגרים את העיניים לעיר או למנוע הרעת העיניים. From here we learn, when you look at something, you actually give it light. It's called הרעת העיניים. So when you look at something, you give it light. So the eyes has so much power. But also when you look at something, that's something also going through your eyes because your eyelids are open. ועלו את מה והיו קרובים פורסי כנפיים למעלה, פרש הקרובים לנטרים קרובים עינה. And it says that in the time of the temple, used to be two angels that look at each other. Okay, they were made of gold. That's called the kruvim, and it say the kruvim will spread their wings. The angel will spread their wings. What does that mean? It's the eyelids, and the eyelids you have the eyelashes. So the eyelashes side touch the eyelid. So what is those? Eyelashes, they are basically those angels. When I say posek nafayim, they're spreading the wings. So the air, the eyelashes is like that כנפיים, that's wings of the angel. כשהם פרוסים ופתוחים, אז העיניים מאירות למלכות. When they are open, then the eyes are shining to the malchut. Of course, we're not talking about just the physical meaning of this. ואז הלוות פיתחו לי שערי צדק, אילין, אינון טרין עינין עצמן, שהם בחינת נצח ועוד, זין תיקוני גולגולתה. And also when it say, open me a gate of justice, which is the two eyes, they are by themselves are netzach ve'od, the eyes, but there are also 7 correction of Golgotha, which is the highest part of the part that connect to the highest part of consciousness, if you want to call it. I don't know if consciousness is the right words. The highest level. בזמנה דהינו כשעיני זעיר אנפין מסתכלים באורח מישור, and when זעיר אנפין, the eyes of זעיר אנפין looking and opening to see, כדי להמשיך הערת הסתכלות העיניים במלכות. Why זעיר אנפין is looking? So that light that זעיר אנפין is using will go to the malchut. Remember, when the eyes open, the eyes give light to whatever you look at. So when you look at let's say you're baking a cake and you're looking at it, you give it energy. Just looking. Or if you remember in Aaron HaKohen, it said about Aaron that if somebody who is a leper, somebody who has leprosy, go to him, you need to look. V'ra'a Kohen. The Kohen, the high priest, look at him, and then he get cured. So the power of the eyes is a very powerful. It's the most powerful thing you have in your body. Just by looking at things, you have power. You can look at people and they get cured. You can look at the cake and it will rise. You can look at the dish and it will be better. That's the eyes. התמר בהון פניהם איש של אחיו, כי אז גם אריך אנפין מביט ומסתכל בזעיר אנפין. So when זעיר אנפין now sharing and giving that light, that looking thing, הסתכלות, then אריך אנפין, which is a high level, which is the level of חוכמה, is also looking at זעיר אנפין. כי אז פני כל הפרצופים פונים לצד פני אריך אנפין, מקבלים כל מארת העיניים ממנו. Where is the all light come from? Of the eyes? It's coming from Chokhmah. That's the eyes in the face. It's Chokhmah. So now Arich Anpin is shining light to everybody, and everybody look into the direction of Arich Anpin and getting the Aharat Enaim. Aharat Enaim. It's a light of the eyes. ובזמנה דלאו עינין מסתכלים באורך מישור. But when the eyes are not looking in the right direction, שזה מורה הפיכות פניהם והסתלקות הערתם זה מזה, that's when there is no connection anymore from חוכמה, from the original core essence of where the light come from, which is אריך אנפין. אז הוא נחש הקלטון תמן. Then there is a place for the snake to come in. היינו תגבור את הדינים והקליפות. What is a snake? Meaning a more דינים, more judgment, more קליפות. עליה אתמר, כי המוות יפריד. For that it say, and the death will separate. היינו הקליפות הנקראות מוות גורמות פירוד. What create death? What creates separation? What create hatred among people? The pirud is coming from a place called klipot. Klipot is the essence of a negative thing that we need in our universe, fortunately or unfortunately. Klipa, like if I translate it into English, would be a shell. You need the shell of an orange to keep the orange good, but you don't need the shell after you eat the orange. But to get to the orange, you need the shell. The same thing in spirituality. The shell is basically covering the kedusha, covering the main course. Whatever you want to eat is there, but covering with klipot. Your job is to go through the klipot and get to the main course. But unfortunately, many people get through the klipot and get stuck in the klipot. For that reason, the Talmud, those of you who study Talmud, as question and answer, question and answer. The question are the klipot. The answer are the fruit. That's why it's called kushia v'terutz. For that reason, people who study Talmud is very much purified your body, purified your soul. Nothing like study Talmud every day, because it's actually opening up. What is the Zohar and Kabbalah? Zohar and Kabbalah is the fruit without klipot. It's more pure. So when you study Kabbalah and Zohar, even if you don't understand, it's fruit. When you study just Talmud, if you're not a Talmid Chacham, it can be dangerous, because then you get stuck in the klipot. What if you study Halakha only, just the law? That's also the fruit. It's the fruit of the fight of the people in the Talmud. Okay? So the klipot create separation. נקראות מוות גורמות פירוד בין זכר ונקבה שזעיר אנפין לא יכול להאיר בהסתכלות עיניו לנוקבה. So the Gaon Mivilna said, and the klipot, themselves are creating a separation between the force called Ze'er Anpin. Instead of Ze'er Anpin can look at the nekeva, can look at the female below the malchut, it can't, because they create separation. I will continue here and then I will move to the other explanation. Tlat Gavle'ena, we're going back to the eyes. There is 3 colors to the eyes. Lavan, Adom, Yarok. I don't know if he means physically 3 colors. The white of the eye, the color of the eye, and the pupil. I don't know if that's what he's saying, because he used the word Lavan, Adom, Yarok. There's no Adom. Adom means red. White, red, and green. I think white relate to right column, meaning giving, sharing, chesed. Red meaning dinim, judgment. Yarok means center column, rachamim, or tiferet. Inun tlat avaan, he said this is the 3 father. Em keneged chagat. It's chesed gvura tiferet, like we said before. אז מה, באו אלה ראשי בית אבותם. הרי האבות נקראים ראשי. ועוד יש בת. Now we're going back to what we start with. Remember, we start with the idea that there is a word called Bereshit. And the Bereshit is being divided to 2 words, Rashi, Bat. The heads, the leader of the Bat, of the daughter. Who is the daughter? Malchut is the daughter. Malchut is the daughter. That's why they say Shabbat. Why say Shabbat Shalom, right? The Shin of Shabbat has 3 columns. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. What left? The Bat. That's why it's called Shabbat is a female. Shabbat HaMalkah. Shabbat the queen. The Shabbat is basically a 3-column system being set into Malchut. And that's why it's the only time that you're allowed to enjoy Malchut level, physicality, whatever it is, the food, the fun, everything that kind of you shouldn't do too much during the week. On Shabbat, it's actually a mitzvah. It's actually, you should do it. And if you don't do it, you're doing something wrong. It's all totally the opposite on Shabbat. ועוד יש בת עין די דקיקה זעירה, היא נקודה אמצעית, השחורה שבעין. So there is right, left and center, which is לבן, אדום, ירוק, and there is a pupil. What is the pupil? Those of you who study the eyes, it's a hole. It's not a color. It's open and closed. It's a hole. It's basically a hole. That hole, like the camera, it's receiving into the film called the brain in your case, or my case, or human case, animal too. This pupil, it's called nekuda emtzait, the middle point. Shachor, that's why it's black, because it's a malchut. Da shchinta nishtatfat be'aba'an, and this is the shchina that is basically mixed and together and in union with the father, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, or chesed gvura tiferet. כי לעולם המלכות דבוקה באחורי חגת דזעיר אנפין. Because Malchut, those of you who understand how it works, it's in the back of Ze'er Anpin or in the back of Chagat of Ze'er Anpin. Chagat is the Chesed Gvura Tiferet, is the upper part. ועלי תמר שמרני כאישון בת עין. And that's what we say, שמרני, please keep me כאישון בת עין, like you keep your eyes. We're asking God to keep us like the eyes. What does that mean? בת עין. Why we call it Bat Ain, the daughter of the eye? It's a code for Malchut. And all this is only in the secret of the word Bereshit. Taman, Rashi, Em Avot. What does that mean, Rashi? The leaders? Because Rashi, the word Bereshit, Bet, Resh, Aleph, Shin, Yud, Taf, right? You take the first letter, Bet, you take the second letter, Taf, take them out, move them to the left, then what it stays, Rashi. Rashi means the leader. Em Avot, Taman Bat, Ya Malchut. So that's Bereshit, what it means. So next year, when you get into Bereshit, you already have the meaning. Take one of the 70 meaning. And one of the meaning is Bereshit is Rashi Bat. I'm there to connect to Rashi Bat, to the leaders and the Bat, which is Malchut. I think it's tremendous. קם רבי שמעון על רגלו, רבי שמעון stood up on his feet, לפרש ספר נקרא הנ"ל. And he stood up while he's dead. Now, I don't think it's a physical standing up and physical sitting. I mean, the standing is a connection, the sitting is drawing the energy. So לפרש ספר נקרא הנ"ל, דהיינו משם כך, אבו בם. So he was about to finish the pasuk that say, פיתחו לי שער הצדק, אבו בם הודיה. Okay? Avo Bam. So he said there is another words there that we need to add. It's called Avo Bam. I will walk in to them. But it doesn't really make sense if you understand Hebrew. Avo Bam. I will come with them, or I will come into them. ואמר ריבון עולמים, אבטח עיני, תפתח את עיני שכלי. רבי שמעון, so humble. Say, Master of the world, ריבונו של עולם, open the eyes of my brain, open the eyes of my mind so I can speak. להסתכלה בעון לעילה, להתבונן במה שלמעלה, so I can see what's really going on. Whoever studied this type of study always come into realization how far we are. Because you start studying those things, you realize like, we don't know even 1% of what's going on in the spiritual world. And it's so fascinating when we find out. But in the moment you truly start to understand them, it's because there is a permission by the angel, by God, to allow you to understand. Everything that you do, everything, let's say you want to change, you want to work on yourself. Let's say you have anger issue, sad issue, insecurity issue. You have to reach out to the divine, to God, to the Creator, and ask for that help to change. Or to be able to be strong to overcome what you need to overcome. Within the Creator, there is everything. It's Ein Sof. Ein Sof means endless. Endless opportunity of solutions to all the problem. But if you don't ask, you don't get. Very simple. So Rabbi Shimon, Avobam. מה זה Avobam? Say Rabbi Shimon. I will walk into them. Don't say Bam. Don't say Bam, Bam meaning into them. Change it to Membet. Change the letter. Membet. איתוון ששמה מפרש, שאוכל לפרש סוד השם המפורש זה שם מבט. Within Avobam, in Bereshit, there is all the secret of the Membet. Where? Where is the Membet? Oh, those of you who don't know what Membet, Membet is called the name of the 42. There is 72 name, 42 name, 52, there is a lot of things. But 42, when you hear the number 42, it's related to Anav Koach. Anav Koach is a mantra written by Rabbeinu Chunia ben Akana, which is a mantra, it's a very powerful prayer, that all the letters was taken from the beginning of the Bereshit. That's where the letter came from. למדע כל עת ועת, על תיקונן לדעת כל עוד ועוד, על סדרה כדי מפרש ואזיל. So to know every letter. I want to go back to the מעלות הסולם רבי יהודה צבי ברנדמן, with your permission, and see a different aspect to the same section. Because I like to give you as much as I can, because I don't think it's fair just to study one angle. There is so many more Tikkunei Zohar and explanation. I hope in the eyes of God, the eyes of the angel, the eyes of human, and the eyes of myself, that I will be able to do a good job, to be able to make it clear, and also not to do a mistake. You know, I'm a human being, I might do a mistake of explaining it to you. So I'm just praying every day that I'm not mislead the study. You know, in the end of the day, you know, when you go up to heaven, you know, you got to report how did you do, you know, and I'm just asking for forgiveness if I might not translate it right or not explain it well enough. פירוש 10 ספירות שבראש נקראות גולגולתה, כתר, עיניים חוכמה. Now Rav Brandman, when he does to the head, he will divide it into the sefirot. I cannot explain the sefirot, guys. You have to take another lecture for that. Golgotha, the skull, is called keter. Enaim, the eyes, chokhmah. Ozen, the ears, bina. Chotam, nose, tiferet, or ze'er anpin, which is vav tzavot. Pe, mouth, malchut. ובעיניים של חוכמה שהיא צריכה שמירה מן החיצונים. The only place where you need to protect yourself is in the eyes. Need shmira min hachitzonim. It's weird. What about the nose? What about the ears? What about the mouth? Right? שלא ינקו ממנה נתקן כיסוי עליהן שהקרובים והפפיים והסוגרים פותחים את העיניים. Say to us, Rav Brandwein, the reason we have eyelid, that the force, which is negative force, will not suck the energy out of us from the eyes. For me, we learn the power of the eyes. You know, when you are with the wrong crowd or wrong people, those people, I'm talking about physical people, not picture, those people can actually enter your brain through your eyes, or your energy enter to them and it starts mixing. We think that mixing happen only when you touch or you do things together. Eyes, my friend. What happens if you watch a movie or you watch a documentary? Does that affect you? I don't know the answer for that. I really don't know. Because in a way it makes sense. It says here that the eyes have eyelids, so we don't look. That's what it says. שלא ינקו ממנה, נתקן כיסוי עליהם. It's the eyelids. שיהיה הקרובים. והפפיים הסוגרים פותחים את העיניים שבעת שליטת השמאל. Now we will explain more deep why you have the eyelashes, the eyelids, what's the purpose. So we're supposed to open and close the eyes. שבעת שליטת השמאל הן נסגרות. When do you go to sleep? You're supposed to go to sleep at night. That's the time to go to sleep. What happened at night? It's dark outside. Why is it dark outside? Those of you who study a little bit Kabbalah understand that means the left column is controlling everything. That's why people need to go to sleep at night. You function better in the day, but not because it's a physical rest. It's not the reason. The reason because when the night fall, it's left column. And in the left column, you don't want to deal with it. You don't want to open your eyes in the left column because you cannot handle the left column. You can't handle the left column. Left column, when God created the world, if you remember, on Wednesday, created the sun and the moon. And the moon represents the left column. The sun represents the right column, the Ze'er Anpin. The moon said, how come you created two rulers in heaven? So God said to the moon, go make yourself smaller. That's the story. But the story is a metaphor, meaning there is a meaning to it. And the moon represents the left column, that represents the concept of receiving all the energy, all the goodness in one blast, one shot. But if you cannot handle it, it can create damage. So at night, the kaf small, the left column is controlled. נסגרות בסוד השינה. So we go to sleep at that time because we can't handle it. כי הישן האפפיים שלו הם סתומים. When a person goes to sleep, the eyelids close. והם כסות המכסה את הראייה. And it's closing the person from being able to see, שהוא סוד אור החוכמה. Because when you see, what is the eyes? Remember, it's חוכמה. And light of wisdom without light of mercy, it's burning. It's too much. ועל ידי קו האמצעי שמעורר את המסך דחיריק, המרומד בשערות של האפפיים שבמסך זה, בוקע את המדרגות ומעט את קו השמאל. The eyelashes is basically so important. It's called מסך דחיריק. The curtain of חיריק. חיריק is the vowel in Hebrew that look like 1 point below the letter. Okay? There is different things. You have the vowel, you have the cholam. Okay, shuruk. There is different masachim. We explained it before. I cannot go into it again now, I'm sorry. So, the center column has been awakening that masach. And where is this happening? If you want to imagine physical thing, even if it's not physical, it's in the eyelashes. שמסך זה בוקע את כל המדרגות וממעט את קו השמאל, and it's what it does. Those of you who study about left column and right column, it removes the גימל הראשונות, it removes the 3 upper ספירות of the left column, שגר שלו מסתלקים ונשאר בו"ב קצוות. And then what left of the left column is only Vav Tzavot. Almost like whatever happened in Leil HaSeder. If you study about Leil HaSeder. So it cut the גימל הראשונות, then we have Vav Tzavot. הנה גם הכסות של העין נפקעה באמצע, כי גם בכסות ישנם 10 ספירות כדי חומה בינת תפארת מלכות, שבשלט השמאל מחוברות גרד וו"ב צרות, בשלט קו אמצעי מסתכלים גרד השמאל, והכסות נפקעת והעיניים נפקרות כמו שבקיץ משנתו. So what happened? How we wake up in the morning? Why we wake up in the morning? Is it an alarm clock all the time? No, not necessarily. It's in the light? No. There is something called קו אמצעי. קו אמצעי, which calls center column. You have to imagine, on the right column, it is not strong light, but being capable to receive that. On the left column, super strong light, we can handle it. The center column, Rachamim, is basically want to make peace between these two columns that they will shine. But the left column doesn't want to make peace with the right column. Because the left column say, I have more light. So the center column say, yeah, you have more light, but nobody see you. It's night. The right column said, you know, I have small light, but everybody can see you. Both need each other. So what do? We need to cut the גימל הראשונות of the left column and join it with the right column. And now the left column has to receive light from the right column. No more directly. So this is called קו האמצעי. So when קו האמצעי is taking a place, הכסות נפקעת, the eyelids open, and כמו שמקיץ משנתו. It's almost like the person wake up from his sleep. We're using those examples, but again, it's physical example, just to make sure that we understand. והיות כי עיקר כל העין הנקודה שהיא שעון בת עין והיא מלכות. What is the main part of the eyes? The color, the white? No, the pupil. The pupil called מלכות, because it's dark, it's like מלכות. כי בה לבד מתגלת הראייה שהיא חוכמה. Everything that been there is revealed where? In that dark spot on your eyes. And that dark spot on your eyes, this is basically Order Chokhmah. There is no light there. It's funny, right? There is no light. If you ask a photographer, what defines a picture? The light. There is the light. What do you want to get? What type of light? Where are you standing? All about the light in the end. Ask a photographer. And a photographer, you have the, what do you call the thing that open and close? Forgot. You know, the camera has something that open. It's exactly like the pupil. The shutter, I think it's called the shutter. The shutter open and close. So that, why, when it's closed, it's been less light coming in. When it's open, more light coming in. Think about the metaphor again. It's beautiful. So how do you open and close your eyes? With the eyelids. When it's a left column control, then what happened? It has to be closed. And then kaf small, the Order Chokhmah, don't go to you. So what is recommended from physical point of sleep? Earlier, before midnight. Because after midnight, it's already not left column, it's chasadim. The night is shifting. Okay? So always people ask me if I'm tired, what do? I always tell them try to sleep before midnight. Before midnight, you see what time is midnight. If you sleep before midnight, you're going to be okay. If you sleep after midnight, you didn't close yourself from the left column. If you didn't close yourself from the left column, it's going to create a problem. I don't know if it's even clear, kind of deep. So when we have center column, so every night or every day there is a fight between right and left. In the daytime is a right column. As nightfall, left column is in control. After midnight, before Alot HaShachar, as you get close to the morning, that's more the center column being awake. So that's why the tzaddikim, the righteous people, are awake in the middle of the night to connect to that very powerful energy. So instead of the morning wake them up, they wake up the morning, if it makes sense what I just say. So people who want to have children that will be righteous, the best time is always to do it, making love, about 1.5 hours before Alot HaShachar, before dawn. Okay? Always 1.5 hours before dawn will be the best time. Not in the daytime and not before midnight. Now continue the part of what it say in the other Zohar that we read. Just want to make sure I'll get confused here. So Rabbi Shimon come, we already discussed it. ריבון אפתח את עיניי, להסתכל בהם למעלה, we explained it. Avobam, it's about the 42 name, ענה בכוח. Where is the ענה בכוח came from? Where is it came from? And what is it saying there? It's got to be connected to Bereshit. So if you take the word from Bereshit, until the word V'aretz הייתה תוהו ובוהו, you take all the letters from Bereshit to תוהו ובוהו, it will be all the letters from ענה בכוח. So think about it. All the letters of ענה בכוח exist within, from Bereshit till the end, which is Avagyata, Tzkar Satan, Nagad Yakash, Batar Tzadak, Chakaf Tana, Yagal Pazak, Shikutzit, and of course the last verse. So think about it. It's so tremendous that when you say Ana Bekoach, what is Ana Bekoach exactly? You're recreating the world because it's all Bereshit from scratch. From scratch. And I would like to continue, even I know I'm after the time. He continue, and I love this part, that's why I'm reading it. וכל אות ואות מכף בית אותיות, התורה, שהיא זעיר אנפין, יש לה מאמר. Every letter from the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet, in the Torah, which the Torah is זעיר אנפין, יש לה מאמר, as something, as an article, as something to say. מעשרה מאמרות. It's a story from the 10th story, שהוא סוד 10 ספירות, which is the story of the 10 ספירות, the Abba ואמא, Ilaim, of the father and the mother above, ויש לה נתיב, and there is a path. מ10 ספירות, from the 10 ספירות, of ישראל סבא ותבונה. Israel Saba is the lower part of Chokhmah, Tvuna is the lower part of Bina. Em 10 מאמרות. This is 10 מאמרות, 10 almost essays, 10 talk, 10 essays. ולמד בית שבילים, how many paths there is? 32. שביחד הם מ"ב. If you take 32 paths and you add 10 to it, you're going to get 42. 42 is the Ana Bekoach. So again, 22 letters, you add 10 ma'amarot, right? You get 32. Okay? You get 32 plus the 10 sfirot, you get 42. 10 ma'amarot, 10 sfirot, and 22 letters. וכולם תלויים מן איה, all of them connecting to the איה, as you know, איה, מקום כבודו, that we say in the Musaf of Shabbat. סוד כתר, that's why you're supposed to stop when you say the Musaf, the איה is stop, because you connect to כתר at that moment. וזהו אבא, אבו בם הודיה. Now we will explain what has been אבו בם הודיה. I will walk to them and I will praise Yah. What does that mean? Avo bam odeya. Aye begimatria ode. If you take the word Aleph Yud A, which is Aye, is the same numerological value as I will thank. Aye and I will thank the same. שהוא סוד כתר, י' K, הוא סוד חוכמה ובina. So, when you say Avo Bam Odeya, I will walk into them and I will praise the Lord, which is unfortunately in English it's terrible. Always you have to study Hebrew to get into it, truly get into it, and that's why I'm doing very tough job here to make sure it's coming in English. Avo Bam, I will go into them, is Avo Membet, meaning I will come into the through the Ana Bekoach. Ode Gimatria Aye, which is Keter, Ya Yud Chokhmah A Bina, all in order. ואותן 7 ספירות שנעשו, I always put signs there because I don't trust my memory to remember exactly where I stopped. So that's why I'm doing it. ואותם 7 ספירות של זעיר אנפין שנעשו למ"ב, those 7 ספירות that become מ"ב, that's why in מ"ב you have 7 lines to the 7 ספירות, כלולות ב7 שמות של ענה בכוח, and how many words in each line? 6. Together it's 7. That's why it's very important to say it every day. I don't care who you are, what you gotta say ענה בכוח. You gotta say it. וכולם כוללת אותם בת 7 שהיא מלכות. And all of them בת 7. בת 7, בת is the daughter of the 7. בת 7. Now you know why she married King David. It's a code. Whatever the story happened or didn't happen. From the Pshat point of view, it did happen. But from the Sod, from the level of Atzilut, Torah of Atzilut, it's a secret. David HaMelech, King David. King David, David Melech, Malchut, right? Is control who? Bat Sheva, wife. Bat Sheva, the daughter of 7. It's all 7. So when it say, וכולם כוללת אותם בת 7 שהיא מלכות. לכן אחרי ענה בכוח כתוב ברוך שם. That's why in the end of all we say in the Ana B'Koch, we have to say Baruch Shem, which is the Malchut, which is Bat Sheva, and for that reason on Yom Kippur, you're not supposed to say it quietly, because Malchut is already went up to Binah, so that's not the problem. ואין ספירה מכל הספירות שתהיה לה רשות להוריד ברכות ולהשפיע על התחתונים, אלא בבת 7 שהיא מלכות, משום שהיא הקשר של כל הספירות. The only place you can put all the blessing into is in Bat Sheva. Bat Sheva, the daughter of 7, meaning the manifestation of 7, the manifestation of everything. שאם הספירות הן מורכות שפע לחוץ ממנה, if the ספירות will not look into Bat Sheva to give all the nourishment, all the light, אז היה פירוד, then it will create separation בין הספירות, משום זה אין רשות של ספירת תורי כשווה לשום מקום, that's why everything in the end has to go eventually to the Malchut. I want to see if I should do more here. Yeah, maybe I keep that. I will continue with the Ana B'Koach I think next time. Thank you.